all those moments will be lost in time.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about the girl at Cornell.
Pronounced colonel. It's the highest rank in the military.
It's pronounced Cornell!
Who stripped her clothes off during a presentation while live streaming. So I'm really not on top of my game because this is the second time filming. I'd chosen an article initially because I thought it was a reputable source, and then I go to another article that I felt was less of a reputable source and it has way more information, so here we are. So anyways, let's just get into it. So there was a student called Leticia Chai, and she was to give a presentation. So the day before she was supposed to give this presentation, the professor asked if she was gonna wear the shorts she was wearing to the presentation. Note, she was wearing denim cutoffs, short shorts, whatever you want to call them. And the teacher just questioned, are you gonna wear those? Because it makes a statement what you wear. It's important because this is her senior thesis, and I'm not saying that if it were another presentation it wouldn't be important, but the importance is heightened when it's something that you've been working for a long time. But anyway, Chai got really upset by that comment and essentially decided to present the next weekend or whenever it was in her bra and underwear, and she actually stripped down while live streaming in her bra and underwear to make a statement. So let's read what the Huffington Post has to say. So this is how Chai depicts the story that I just told you. The professor proceeded to tell me in front of my whole class that I was inviting the male gaze away from the content of my presentation and onto my body. She wrote on Facebook, noting that her professor is a white woman, of course. She said I was making a statement by wearing that outfit. I told her that I sure as hell wouldn't change my statement to make her or anyone else feel more comfortable. According to Chai, a male international student then made a comment that a presenter has a moral obligation to the audience to dress conservatively, at which point Chai fled the room in tears. Okay, so here are some quotes from Chai. This topic transcends all of our social identities and taps right into the heart of who we are. Chai, a fourth-year student, said to a room of nearly 50 people while presenting her thesis paper. Chai began undressing as she held back tears, first removing her shoes, then her pants, and lastly her shirt. I am more than Asian. I am more than a woman. I am more than Leticia Chai. I am a human being, she said while undressing, and I ask you to take this leap of faith, to take this next step, or rather this next strip in our movement, and to join me in revealing to each other and to seeing each other for who we really are, members of the human race. Then 28 of the 44 people in the room also took off their clothes.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
There's so much to unpack here. Okay. So, the fact that her clothing choice would attract the male gaze, I don't like that argument for two reasons. First of all, I don't think that we should flatten men down to, oh yes, they cannot think or focus, they will just look at her legs, which they probably can't see because I'm assuming there would be a podium or something. But anyways, flattening down men to just creatures who can't keep it in their pants is stupid, and I don't like that argument. Second of all, if you're gonna talk about being professional, you can just talk about being professional without having to add those kinds of snarky comments. I generally do agree with what the teacher is saying, though. There is a statement being made. Every time we wear clothes, we are making a statement. The thing is, when you're wearing clothes down the street, the statement is a little bit less important than when you're in a professional setting. You're trying to make an argument, you're trying to prove points in front of other academics, in front of professors, in front of students. That's kind of the time when you want to dress and look your best in order to be seen as a reputable source, and that's just a reality. We judge people on how they're dressed.
Oh my God, Pam. Those make you look so ugly. Pam, in order to get hotter, you take glasses off. You're moving in the wrong direction.
So I can understand that it's annoying and you might not want to dress more formally, but that's something we all need to get over. Just this Friday, I had to wear a button-up shirt, and I despise button-up shirts. Like, I am so uncomfortable wearing them, which is why you see me wearing baggy t-shirts all the time. But guess what? I did it anyways because I wanted the interviewers to see the potential in me, because I probably have to dress kind of that way if I get the job. So I want them to potentially see me, envision me in that position. If I came in wearing a t-shirt and short shorts, would they see me in that way? Maybe, but it's far less likely. At one point here, Chai says, "I'm not responsible for anyone's attention because we are capable of thinking for ourselves and we have agency." And I agree with that point that Chai makes. I do think that the teacher's remark was out of place in that male gaze part, and I do agree with Chai that we all are in charge of ourselves and our bodies. Like, even if she wears a button-up, if there's some people who might be turned on by button-ups and won't be able to focus, you know, like you can make that argument for kind of everything, so I didn't think that particularly strengthened the argument of be professional. So then students decided that what Chai wrote on Facebook was not adequately representing the teacher's past and continued advocacy for women and minorities. So they were saying that the teacher essentially was right, and the way that Chai had perceived it was maybe more of an emotional response than a factual kind of retelling of what happened. What's interesting here is Chai's message, because she strips down and is saying to see each other for who we truly are, members of the human race. Now, okay, I can understand that there's some things that are very obvious that we need reminders of. That we are members of the human race, I don't think we need that reminder. I don't think it's a deep kind of... I don't think it's a deep message to send, and I don't see the purpose of stripping in order to get this message across. I don't know really when stripping can make much of any point. And the thing is, I feel like it was almost an excuse. Like, this thing of wanting to show that she's more than Asian. Nobody who was saying you're just Asian, you're just a woman, you're just Chai. Like, no one that you even reported, that was not part of the discussion that you were just. So the need to prove that you are more than is bizarre to me. And especially considering the whole context of this situation, I'm just wondering why stripping was the way to prove that you are more than. Honestly, if I would have respected disagreeing with the professor and coming in your shorts just to make your statement, I would have respected that more, because you're sticking to your guns, but you're also not going to that extreme level and trying to prove a point and failing. I don't know, this whole thing to me is kind of mind-boggling, and the reality is you could have just had a conversation with your professor and been like, yo, I didn't appreciate how you said that, I don't agree. And you're allowed to disagree. The thing is, doing this, useless, ineffective, counterproductive, whatever term you want to use, it's probably that, except useful. And you know what the thing is? She stripped down, right? So let's talk about double standards for a second. If a man had taken off his clothes in public like this during a thesis presentation, I don't think people would have been okay with it. I think people would have said he was a pervert, and I think people would have not taken it as a statement about the patriarchy or some kind of statement of men's rights or something. So I'm not saying people are okay with this either, but I do think that this is highlighting a double standard, which is kind of ironic, because in this situation it very much seems like she feels oppressed in some way, yet she's doing something that is oppressing other people, in the sense that people shouldn't be subjected to seeing you half naked in a place where that is not the norm. People, like, this is not about a safe space, this is about professionalism, you know? Like, you shouldn't be taking off your clothes in front of other people, then being like, oh, I don't care if you feel uncomfortable. Like, that's not okay, and I don't know why she would say that, because she talks about not caring about others' comfort, then why should anyone care about your comfort? You know, that it's a double-edged sword in that way, and she gets pierced both sides. So I really don't understand the mentality here, and I don't understand the point, but I digress, guys. I guess when I'm a professor, I can just go in dressed as a flamingo, and if anyone says anything to me, I can, you know, take off my clothes, because that makes a great point. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons, as always. Now let's get right into the fan art.